Welcome to the historic Jefferson Hotel, a cornerstone of Jefferson, Texas, and a living testament to the town's rich and colorful history. As you stand before these walls, imagine the echoes of laughter, sorrow, and secrets they hold. But before we delve into the history of this very building, let's take a moment to appreciate the visionary who laid the foundation for Jefferson itself, Alan Urquhart. Alan Urquhart was more than just a professional land surveyor and ferry owner. He was a man with a vision. He acquired a significant tract of land nestled between Big Cypress and Black Cypress Creek, and, with the discerning eye of a surveyor, recognized its potential as the birthplace of a thriving town. This land possessed unique advantages. Its navigable river system, the Big Cypress Bayou, allowed boats to penetrate 8 miles further inland than previously possible, opening up new avenues for trade and commerce. Furthermore, Jefferson's strategic location at a bend in the bayou provided ample space for steamboats to turn around, a crucial factor in river navigation. Urquhart's vision extended beyond just recognizing the potential of the land. He actively shaped its destiny. In his meticulous plans for the town, he designed the streets within Jefferson's business district to face the water, ensuring easy access for loading and unloading cargo. This forward-thinking approach laid the groundwork for Jefferson's rapid growth as a commercial hub. Our story now turns to the building that would become the historic Jefferson Hotel. In 1851, Alan Urquhart, the founder of Jefferson, constructed this very structure to serve as a cotton warehouse. Imagine bales of cotton piled high, waiting to be shipped downriver, a testament to the town's burgeoning economy. By 1860, it was known as the Storehouse, a hub of commerce in a town that had truly come into its own. But the building's story was far from over. It eventually became the property of Henry B. Orton, who transformed it into a grand, 2-story brick fireproof house that spanned the entire block, with entrances from both Austin and Dallas streets. This was a testament to the town's growing prosperity and ambition. However, disaster struck in March 1869 when a fire swept through Dallas Street, causing $1 million worth of damage and reducing Orton's magnificent building to ashes. Yet the spirit of Jefferson persevered. Orton immediately rebuilt, and the current hotel structure rose from the ashes, a symbol of resilience and determination. Orton's new building quickly became a bustling hub of activity, housing a variety of businesses that catered to the town's diverse needs. In 1862, C.J. Schwab established the International Barroom, its swinging doors welcoming thirsty patrons and filling the air with the clinking of glasses and boisterous laughter. Upstairs, even as Mrs. J.W. Thompson rented space for her coffeehouse, demonstrating women's early involvement in business, the limitations of the era were clear. Imagine the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingling with the sounds of conversation and commerce. And who could resist the culinary delights of L.T. Edwards Italian Restaurant, established in 1873? The tantalizing smells of Italian cuisine would have wafted through the building, enticing hungry diners. The Orton building was a testament to the town's entrepreneurial spirit, housing multiple businesses simultaneously. In 1873, Miller, Yowell and Company opened the Crystal Palace, a saloon that likely sparkled with crystal chandeliers and lively patrons. The International Saloon continued to operate. Its bar fixtures eventually sold to H.P. Thomas in 1874. These early businesses paint a vivid picture of the building's vibrant and dynamic early years. Yet, the later use of the building known as Concert Hall, where female performers were relegated to back entrances and male-only audiences, reveals the stark contrast between women's participation in business and the societal restrictions they faced. The 1880s marked a shift in the building's function. From 1874 to 1882, it operated as the Pruitt House, marking the beginning of its long legacy as a hotel. This was likely the first official hotel within the building's walls, offering travelers a place to rest and recharge. In 1882, Mrs. Nancy Grigsby took over the lease, renaming it the Grigsby House and continuing its tradition of hospitality. The hotel provided a welcome respite for weary travelers, offering comfortable accommodations and a taste of home. As Jefferson's fortunes declined, the grand Orton building faced periods of neglect and repurposing. The once bustling ground floor eventually deteriorated, but the resourceful people of Jefferson saw opportunity in the ruins. The lower level, with its sunken floor, was transformed into a livery stable, providing shelter and care for horses and carriages. Meanwhile, the upper floor underwent a dramatic transformation, becoming a grand skating rink. Imagine the laughter and the scraping of skates as townsfolk, young and old, glided across the wooden floor, especially during the hot summer months. This ingenious transformation speaks to the resilience and adaptability of the community. Around 1905, contractor J.N. Thomas renovated the upper floor, creating a magnificent space for skating. The old Armory Hall, as it was known, opened its doors in 1906, inviting the community to enjoy a spin on the newly repaired floor. But the hall wasn't just for skating. It also hosted a Republican County convention that same year, demonstrating its versatility as a gathering place. The skating rink became a stage for extraordinary spectacles. In January 1906, Professor Stein, the legless wonder of the world, defied expectations with his incredible bicycle stunts, balancing precariously and racing against Jefferson's fastest skaters. Skating instructor Harry Eisel also captivated audiences with his graceful routines, waltzes, two-steps, and daring feats like treading the burning needle, jumping chairs, and even skating on stilts. The hall echoed with the gasps and cheers of the crowd, creating memories that would last a lifetime. In the midst of the hotel's bustling activity and the comings and goings of travelers, a heart-wrenching tragedy unfolded. The year was 1912. The Grigsby Hotel was preparing for a wedding. Lydia Grigsby, a young woman full of hopes and dreams, was to be married within the walls of her mother's hotel. Imagine the scene, the lobby decorated with flowers, the air filled with anticipation. Lydia radiant in her wedding gown, but fate had a cruel twist in store. As the hour of the ceremony approached, the groom was nowhere to be found. Minutes turned into an eternity and the realization dawned. Lydia had been jilted. Heartbreak and humiliation washed over her, leaving her feeling lost and utterly alone. In a moment of despair, Lydia sought refuge in her mother's room, room number 12. There, amidst familiar surroundings, she succumbed to the overwhelming weight of her grief. A newspaper clipping from that time tells a stark and tragic tale. Lydia Grigsby hanged herself from her mother's bed. The bed, a silent witness to this heartbreaking event, now resides in room 19, a poignant reminder of the fragility of love and the devastating consequences of despair. As you pass by this room, remember Lydia's story, a story of lost love and a life tragically cut short. A darker chapter unfolded at the turn of the century, when the building, briefly known as the Dive on Austin Street, became a brothel. It was a time of secrecy and shadows, where women were forced to the margins of society. The women who worked within these walls were not allowed to enter through the main entrance, but instead were confined to a discreet back entrance, hidden from the judgmental gaze of the outside world. This segregation, a stark reminder of the social stigma surrounding their profession, is etched into the very structure of the building. The remnants of this hidden staircase, a physical testament to the women's marginalized existence, can still be seen today. As you stand near this back entrance, imagine the women who walked these steps, their lives shrouded in secrecy, and their stories often untold. Their presence, though hidden, is woven into the fabric of this building, a reminder of a time when society cast a harsh judgment on those who dared to defy its norms. Whispers persist of a gruesome murder during this time. A working girl named Judy, stabbed to death in the bathtub of room 19. This era, though shrouded in secrecy and sorrow, remains an undeniable part of the building's complex history. In 1911, the building reclaimed its identity as the Jefferson Hotel. It weathered the cotton boom as the old Siegel warehouse and thrived under the Schluter and Mosley families. But to truly understand the hotel's vibrant life during this era, we need to step back and recognize its role as the New Jefferson Hotel, Jefferson's social mecca during the Roaring Twenties. The New Jefferson Hotel, as it was known then, was remodeled and refurbished in the early 1920s by Judge Garwood and Mrs. Schluter. Mrs. Schluter, a woman of remarkable energy and ambition, took the helm as manager, aided by her 3 sons from a previous marriage, Win Osborne, Budge Osborne, and Boots Osborne. Under their leadership, the hotel became the undisputed premier destination in Jefferson, a place where elegance and excitement intertwined. The Schluter era was a time of contrasts, respectable gatherings during the week and wild Saturday night dances orchestrated by the Schluter sons. Imagine the scene. The hotel lobby transformed into a dance hall, filled with the sounds of the Wiley Wildcats and Perry Lee Langstein's Syncopators. Couples twirled across the floor, while others gathered at the bar, enjoying illicit drinks during Prohibition. The atmosphere was electric but often volatile. Fistfights were common, fueled by alcohol and simmering tensions. One hot July night, a brawl erupted, escalating into chaos. Chairs flew, women screamed, and Win Osborne, trying to restore order, was struck down with a whiskey bottle. Suddenly, Uncle E.F. Bowley, the elderly caretaker, appeared with a 12-gauge shotgun, firing a shot into the ceiling. The room fell silent. Musicians dove for cover and dancers fled into the night. These wild nights, recounted by Buck McCasland, a young boy who witnessed it all, paint a vivid picture of the hotel's duality, a place of both refinement and revelry. But the stories don't end there. Could Bonnie and Clyde, the infamous outlaw duo, have sought refuge within these walls? The mystery surrounding their connection to the hotel adds another layer of intrigue to its already rich history. Imagine this. The year is somewhere between 1922 and 1936, the height of Bonnie and Clyde's infamous crime spree. Could this notorious duo, known for their daring robberies and audacious escapes, have sought refuge within these very walls? One guest, a Bonnie and Clyde enthusiast, believes so. He claimed that the Jefferson Hotel was a favorite hideout for the outlaw couple, a place where they could lay low and enjoy a brief respite from their life on the run. He spoke with such conviction that it sparked a quest to uncover the truth. The hotel's original register from that era held the key to solving this mystery. Could the names Clyde Barrow or Bonnie Parker be found amongst its pages? They were known for their brazenness, so it was thought they might have registered under their real names. The search was on, but sadly, the register was stolen in 2018, leaving the question unanswered and the mystery alive. Even without concrete proof, the possibility of Bonnie and Clyde's presence lingers in the air. As you wander the halls, imagine them slipping through the back entrance, seeking anonymity in the crowd, or perhaps enjoying a drink at the bar, their eyes scanning the room for any sign of danger. The story of Bonnie and Clyde, whether fact or fiction, adds a thrilling dimension to the hotel's history, leaving you to ponder the secrets these walls hold. Tales of oil workers sneaking in for a night's rest and high school dances filling the halls with youthful energy further enrich the hotel's lore. Hidden within the attic lies a chilling secret, a small concealed room accessible only through a tiny door near the floor. This is the disappointments room, a relic of a bygone era. Imagine this. You ascend the creaking attic stairs, dust motes dancing in the faint light. You push aside old trunks and forgotten furniture, and there, in a dimly lit corner, you find it, a small, unassuming door, almost hidden near the floor. It's not the kind of door you'd expect. It's tiny, more like a doggy door than something meant for humans. Curiosity piqued, you crouch down and peer inside. The room is small, barely 6 feet square, with no windows and seemingly no way out. But wait, what's that in the floor? A small hole just big enough for a child to crawl through. This hole leads down to a larger room below, concealed from the rest of the hotel. Why was this room built? Why the secrecy, the tiny door, the hidden entrance? The answers, though shrouded in speculation, paint a disturbing picture. This was likely a disappointments room, a place where families would hide away children deemed undesirable or disappointing. Perhaps a child with a physical disability, a mental illness, or simply an embarrassing condition that would tarnish the family's reputation. When guests visited, the child would be sent up to this hidden room, out of sight and out of mind. Adding to the mystery, the construction of the room itself offers clues to its origins. The square nails and type of wood used suggest that it was built around the same time as the original structure, possibly during the time when Henry Orton and his family resided here. This raises unsettling questions about the room's purpose and the secrets it may hold. The very existence of such a room speaks volumes about the societal norms and prejudices of the past. It's a chilling reminder of a time when those who didn't fit in were often cast aside, their needs and feelings disregarded. As you stand in this space, remember the children who may have been confined here, their voices silenced, and their stories forgotten. The Disappointments Room is a stark reminder of the dark side of history, a testament to the human capacity for both cruelty and compassion. But the mysteries of the Jefferson Hotel don't end in the attic. Whispers of a hidden basement, mentioned in old newspapers and by past employees, have intrigued and puzzled those who have walked these halls. The entrance to this subterranean space has been lost to time, concealed beneath layers of newer construction. One former employee, who used to venture down to the basement to fold laundry, recalls steep, treacherous stairs with no railing. He believes the basement was sealed off after a tragic accident, claimed the life of a worker who tumbled down those unforgiving steps. He remembers the hushed whispers, the grim warnings, and the sense of foreboding that surrounded that dark, hidden space. The location of the former entrance has been identified, and the floorboards do indeed sound hollow beneath the weight of curious footsteps. But further investigation reveals a layer of bricks, buried 3 feet below the newer concrete. What lies beneath those bricks? What secrets are hidden in the darkness? Is it merely a forgotten storage space, or does it hold darker secrets, remnants of a bygone era? The mystery of the basement remains unsolved, adding another layer of intrigue to the hotel's rich and enigmatic history. As Jefferson declined, the Grand Orton building faced periods of neglect and repurposing. Yet, its spirit endured. In the 1920s, it was reborn as the Jefferson Hotel under A.G. Schluter, continuing its legacy of hospitality. Though it later fell into disrepair, becoming a sanctuary for those with limited means, its historical significance never waned. In the late 20th century, it transitioned from a boarding house to the New Jefferson Inn under Benita Delk and Tanya Plum, and later the Meisner and Lakey families. Notably, since the 1930s, the building had been correctly known as the New Jefferson Hotel. During a period of its later history, it served as a boarding house, providing an easy lifestyle for elderly residents. Owned by Mr. and Mrs. Byron Waldrop, with management relinquished to Red Fisher, a former cook, it became a home for 8 old-timers, or guests. The residents enjoyed a simple life, observing the town's pace from lawn chairs on the sidewalk or playing dominoes in the lobby during inclement weather. Uncle Joe, the oldest at 94, was a handyman and early riser. Meals were served 3 times a day, featuring home-cooked dishes like chicken fried steak and shrimp gumbo. Residents paid $20 a week for room and board, each having a private room with a bath. The Waldrops had purchased the structure in 1946, continuing a tradition of family-style meals that had once cost 40 or 50 cents. While primarily a home for permanent residents, transient guests were never turned away for a meal. The days passed with the regulars enjoying games, walks, and the quiet observation of life in Jefferson. And then came Pam and Jeremy Jones. In 2020, they breathed new life into this historic treasure, not just by restoring its grandeur, but by becoming active participants in its ongoing story. They have delved deep into its past, unearthing forgotten tales and weaving them into the hotel's narrative. They have transformed the building into a living museum, filling it with 13,000 square feet of antiques and oddities, each piece whispering stories of bygone eras. And they have revived the spirit of the old ballroom, hosting themed parties that echo the lively gatherings of the past, ensuring that the laughter and music continue within these walls. From Cotton Warehouse to Grand Hotel, and even a welcoming boarding house for the elderly. This building, the oldest commercial structure in Jefferson and the oldest hotel building in Texas, has borne witness to the passage of time. Its walls whisper tales of joy and sorrow, of merchants, travelers, residents, and even those seeking a peaceful final chapter. We've seen it as a bustling hub of commerce, a lively entertainment venue, a place of tragedy and mystery, and a haven for those in their twilight years. Each era has left its indelible mark, shaping the building's unique character. As you wander these halls, remember the countless lives that have intersected with this place, from the visionary Alan Urquhart to the resilient women who ran its early hotels, from the lively dancers of the roaring 20s to the quiet residents who found solace in its later years. The Jefferson Hotel is more than just a building. It is a living chronicle, etched in brick and time, and thanks to the dedication of its current owners, its story continues to unfold, ensuring that the echoes of its rich and varied past will resonate for generations to come.